So nice to meet you.
Okay.
I've heard a lot about Spear One Production Company and would just love to know more about what you guys do. Would love to sell for you guys. And yeah, just want to hear about what you guys are about.
Why?
Because I've heard such a great reputation of the services that you guys do and how you really take care of your customers. And yeah, I'm just interested in working and hopefully partnering with you guys and selling for you.
Okay. Well, we're not just party planners. We facilitate relationships, and our customers really need us to help them create events. So we help them get closer to their clients, and we have to make sure that we understand their marketing strategy, their positioning objectives.
Would you mind expanding on what you mean by positioning objectives?
Sure. It means that the position that our customer wants to occupy in the mind of their customers, like if they want their customers to think that the brand tastes great and it's less filling.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And the decision cycles of their buyers, we need to understand those also. And so we really just want to make sure that we can facilitate the relationships that our customers have with their customers. So we have relational partnerships at least, and hopefully we want to get strategic partnerships with our customers. And we want to make sure that the events that we're planning really fit into their marketing programs so that their customers are not confused as to who they are and what they represent.
Okay.
Okay. And that means that our signage for the event has to support the positioning objectives, needs to tie into whatever their marketing campaign is doing, and it needs to fit into how their salespeople do things and how they sell. So we work very closely with their advertising agency to make sure that their graphics are exactly right. So that means the small things, having napkins being right at the parties, all that kind of stuff.
All right.
And also we work with a lot of charities, nonprofits, because our clients work with these kind of organizations a lot. So we work with Microsoft, but I'm not going to give you any details on that.
Oh, all right. Well, that sounds very interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Okay.
All right. So for the case one of Spear One Productions, in identifying what the most important aspects of the buyer's business was, I found that for them, they really valued relational partners, but most importantly, strategic partnerships in the way that they explained that, and also how he explained working with Microsoft and such. And then they value that, also had some left some things disclosed as well in that. But another important thing to them was within their signage, which kind of goes along with clear communication. They value clear communication and also like making it more of a holistic thing, not just this is our sign, but incorporating a slogan with it as well and making it more cohesive with the overall brand and not just a picture of it. And then also kind of talked about it in the first kind of thing that they prioritize, but then also they value working with charitable and nonprofit organizations as well. What was challenging, or when he was using the specific body language or was coming across as suspicious and kind of kept me at a distance in his body language and also tone of voice, that was kind of hard in connecting, it felt like, because he was not open to having a conversation or was not open to really questions to be asked. It made it hard to get to know the company or get to know what he was kind of about, and was also kind of vague in his answers. And then techniques in understanding the buyer, in this case, found just to ask clarifying questions about the different jargon that was being used to bring more clarity to the situation. Sydney.
Hi, Jeffrey.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you for your time.
Of course.
Yeah, I've heard about McLean Properties Real Estate and would just love to hear more about it, and would look forward to working for you in the future and selling, and just kind of wanted to get a better grid of who you are, what you do.
Great. Well, hey, I love talking about what we do. So we are the one of the biggest realtors out there. We work with the biggest and best retail chains.
Wow.
We work directly with a lot of, it's a big deal, a lot of real estate divisions of retail chains all across the country. Now, these aren't just fashion chains. We also include restaurants, dry cleaners, banks, you name it, we got it.
All right.
We even deal with dental care chains, a little bit of a niche market there, optometry chains, and a chain of legal advice centers. So, that's all your needs really taken care of there. Now, all of these companies have their own site selection teams that are going to review the site plans for these shopping centers and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So,
that's awesome. So when you say site selection, site plan, what does that look like for you guys more?
Well, a site selection team, those are just employees who review the traffic patterns and the demographics of those areas around those properties in order to just pick the best place for our stores. Then you also asked about our site plans.
Yeah.
So site plans, those are pretty exciting. It's where it's just the layout of a shopping center or other development. We just like to use it. Some fun lingo. So
love it.
And so then those terms are also going to look at the traffic patterns around the areas, and then also the geodemographics, and just other factors that make really just to make sure that the location really serves the market that we're going to be targeting there.
Okay, so with your traffic patterns, what does that look like for you guys? And then going into the geodemographics, breaking out.
So we are really, really good at looking into the traffic patterns. So what those are is that's just the number of people who drive by, in what direction, at what time of day, what day of the week, anything you need to know about traffic around a location.
You got it.
We're really good at it. And then geodemographics you asked about. So that's a form of marketing research that just looks at the type of people that live in a specific geographic area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So now we also, not just with those big retail chains and those kinds of things, we also work with smaller local real estate agents. We really just got the whole market covered. So they have clients who need space also, so we work with them. Sometimes we respond to RFPs, but mostly we like to send out site proposals that will detail what space we're looking for.
And sorry to interrupt. When you say RFP, what does that mean for you guys?
Request for proposal.
Okay.
So we're requested, we'll go do it.
Yeah.
But there will so those proposals will detail what they are looking for, what space is available, what we're looking for in tenants, just other info that might be necessary.
All right, so for case 2 for McLean Properties Real Estate, found that this buyer was very optimistic, was very passionate and excited about his business in the way that he carried himself with expressive body language, as well as using kind of a positive tone in his voice. And so I would say, in listening to kind of his pitch of his company, identified the 3 most important aspects of that. And to me, seemed an important kind of aspect of this real estate company was that they were able to match a site to a customer. And so then along with that, another important thing was having the kind of general layout of each area, with whether that's with the traffic patterns or the geodemographics, so that they're very educated on each area, not just being able to match it to a customer, which that is an important thing, but then also being very well acquainted with that area. Another thing that seemed like an important thing to them was having a diversity of clients. So to be able to kind of be able to list off all of these different people that they work for. And so really in having a diversity of clients, it makes other businesses, I would think, feel comfortable with working with them because they have a lot of experience in that way. Now with this buyer's jargon and body language, the body language actually made it a lot easier, and the tone of voice made it a lot easier to connect. Now would say that it didn't make it hard to understand what their concerns were, because it felt like with him being more positive, it made it easier to really decipher what the important aspects were. But then in that third question, what are the techniques to understand the buyer? Just to ask clarifying questions of what the jargon meant, to make it seem like me as maybe a potential seller for this company to be able to sell in the best way possible and being educated on what the company's for and kind of what language they use for it as well.
Hi, Jeffrey.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear more about Dart paper product manufacturing, and as a seller for you guys, just wanted to hear firsthand kind of more of the breakdown about what you guys do and what you're about.
Sure, yeah. Well, we make different paper products like plates, cups, napkins, and other things that we sell through distributors to different customers. And we are actually the second largest paper product supply company in North America. We also deal in Europe and Asia.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some people that will complain about our products from an environmental perspective.
Yeah.
The reality is that polyester foam.
And what is that exactly?
Oh yeah. It's just foam cups. Just foam cups.
Okay.
They actually insulate better than paper.
Oh.
So, additionally, if you compare polystyrene that we use to many other materials, polystyrene is actually a really small percentage of MSW that's generated and that's also disposed of.
Okay, so when you say MSW, what does that stand for?
MSW, it's total municipal solid waste,
Okay.
and that just means garbage dumps that isn't liquid. So, with that, we also don't want to forget that because biodegradation can lead to the release of harmful methane gas, which can contaminate the groundwater, it's actually preferable to place non-biodegradable material like polystyrene foam cups rather than the biodegradable products into the landfills.
And so when you say biodegradation, methane gas,
Sure.
What does that mean?
Yeah. Biodegradation, it's really simple. It's just the breakdown of waste products over time.
Okay.
And then methane gas, it's just gas that harms the earth due to the greenhouse effect and resulting, global warming.
Oh, okay.
So, another thing our customers are concerned about is their margins, and then also turnover is important as well with us.
So when you say margin turnover, what does that mean?
Oh, yeah.
For y'all?
Margin is just how much money we make per sale.
Oh.
And then turnover is, how fast is a product selling? So while that's all important, so much of that is just a function of the construction industry that they worry a little more, I think, about how much they can make on each sale and whether the price is really competitive. So I'd say margins are the big thing.
Oh, okay.
But of course, we also help with training so that they can upsell their customers, their competition.
When you say upsell their customers,
upsell, it's just selling a higher price product than someone that they're competing against.
Oh. In this third and final case of Dart paper products manufacturing, found that the most important aspects to this buyer was to explain, sometimes in unnecessary detail, what the different terms were, what the different products were. So that was important, was for the seller to be well informed of what their exact products were. And then also it found that they were mildly concerned with the environment. They mentioned the greenhouse effect, but overall was more concerned with their customers making large profit margins. And so they seemed also very concerned with making them happy in that aspect. But then also they would like to maintain that standing of being the second largest manufacturer in the world title. So are kind of willing to put the profit margins above the effects on the environment. And then the next thing, found that with the condescending tone and then also kind of the exaggerated body language made it challenging to connect, but then also made it almost feel awkward to interrupt and ask questions. So it wasn't an inviting thing, which then made it, because of that, made it challenging, one, to connect, and then it's also aggravating as a person interested, and to really, because you're aggravated with how they're responding, to really hear what the message they are trying to convey to you is. And then also the techniques to understand, I guess, just to kind of push through that, even though the way they're communicating may be aggravating to you, just to continue to ask questions, seem interested, even though it's hard to connect or build a relationship in that conversation.